Okay, guys, we're trying again. That's so weird. I don't know what the deal is. But I'm hoping that we have it a little bit straightened out now. We'll zoom a tiny bit right there. Okay. All right, looks like it's hanging in for a second anyway. So back to what I was saying. We are going to do a demo of the ScanNCut. And I'm going to try to answer a bunch of questions you guys usually ask me about the ScanNCut. I'm going to try to anyway. So, we're not going to delay in case I lose you guys. So the first thing is this. The map. One of the questions I get about the map. Well, first off, let me say this. Let's start at this. The very first question I get. Oh, Gwen thinks I'm late. I'm sorry. I got to tell you, I wasn't late. We've signed on, but we had some technical issues. So we had to sign out and come back. So I apologize. We were actually 2 minutes early today, which was ironic.
That's right.
So the biggest question I get about my ScanNCut, the biggest question is, which one is it? This one is the ScanNCut CM350. That's the one I've got, and I'm looking to see. I thought it was I don't know, maybe they're a ScanNCut 2. I thought this was a ScanNCut 2. I don't know. So I have the CM350. C as in cat, M as in Mary, 350. Now, why do I have this machine when I have a Cricut? Because this guy is like scissors, okay? The Cricut will cut, but this is like having a pair of scissors, okay? So what I mean by that is, you know how you fussy cut? Well, I like this machine to do my fussy cutting for me, and I don't have to purchase dies that way. Will it do all the other stuff? Yes, it will do all the other stuff, but it does not, it doesn't work as easy for me. It is more like, it's clunky. Hey, go let them in. They didn't know we were live, and I can't tell him, and my dad just tried to come in, but he can't hear me if I tell him anything, so I'm letting Vince go tell him. So anyway, the software that comes with this is like hard to use. To me it is, okay? Okay, now the question, how much do they cost? When I purchased this, it was on sale for $249. I've had it for I think a year and a half or 2 years now. Okay, it is the ScanNCut 2. I thought it was, but nowhere on here does it say that. I didn't want to say something that was wrong. I've had it for a little while. I paid $249 for it, but at the time I did that, they then brought out a rebate, and I got $50 off of it. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, I don't care for the ScanNCut Canvas, which is the free software that comes with it. So that's why I use my Cricut for everything else, because I personally believe that the Design Space software for my Cricut is amazing. But another thing you guys asked me is this. If I had to choose between this and my Cricut, like which one would I choose? Well, here's the problem. This machine and the Cricut are apples and oranges. They are not a comparison machine, in my opinion. Now, Brother ScanNCut has brought out a machine to compare with the Cricut, and I think it's called the Design & Cut. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But again, and if I were going to choose, I would stick with my Cricut over those two, okay? So anyway, this is it. And I love this machine because it's kind of a standalone. I do not have my computer hooked up to this machine. I want to say that. My computer is here, but it's my monitor for my screen so I can make sure you guys can watch me. But I have no computer hooked up to this. Now, you can purchase a wireless card for this machine. I did not. I don't have the wireless card. I don't see any reason for it, for what I use it for. But on the side of the machine, this is just a quick overview. On the side of the machine right here in this little section, there's a place where you can put a USB and what is that cord, Vince? That's that funny cord, like a printer cord.
Yeah, I don't know what it's technically called, but...
So a USB and like a printer cord. You can hook those in there too. I've used the USB before. I have videos on that. We both got a cough at the same time. But I've used my printer cord before, and I have a video on that, and you guys can see that. Okay, let's talk about my favorite use of it, okay? My favorite use is for stamping. This is one of my stamps. This is from Memory Lane. This is the truck, and I do not have a die for it. We don't have dies yet. They are in the works. I tell y'all everything. We actually got some samples in this week, so we'll be testing those out, but they are in the works. But until you have dies for stamp sets, or if you never want to purchase dies, purchase this machine. You never need them. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to put it in the center of my mat, which is another cool thing. I don't really have to worry about where it goes on my mat. I just put it wherever I want to, and it works. And then I'm just going to feed this guy in here, or load it. That's this button at the top. Now, I do have to tell you this. I lose this little stylus all the time. So a long time ago, you guys remember, I tied it on some baker's twine and taped it around the edges so it would stay on. And that helps me whenever I'm working with it to have this around my neck. I did it like I used to do my old sewing scissors or my seam ripper. That's how I did it when I would sew. So I could just grab them. So this is my stylus, but you don't have to have the stylus. You can use your finger too. All right.
You got a super chat from
Oh,
Pentabulous Mama.
thank you, Pentabulous Mama. Are you Pentabulous?
Pintabulous. I'm going with Pentabulous.
I like that. That's cute. If it's behind, yeah, it does fit behind your screen when it's closed, but it doesn't matter. I lose everything. I should say that this little screen, by the way, lifts up and lays down, and you can put the little pin back there. And also, there's a little hole. This is funny. You won't be able to see it. There's a little hole back here. You can stand your stylus up when you're using it, but none of that works for me. Y'all have to learn who I am. You ever been in my craft room? If it ain't tied on me, I don't keep it. Do I, Vince? You can be honest.
Well, you can't find nothing in that room.
No, stand up. I would shut that down and then give myself, okay, lay flat. Rest for a second. I'm going to let you rest. We're going to do this again.
Pet it a little bit.
There we go. Okay. I was trying to make it stand up too tall. But if you were a sewer, you remember tying your scissors on your neck. I'm not the only one who did that. All right. So I loaded this up. We're ready to go. For stickiness, these mats, I almost said like the real, what I feel about it. These mats are not sticky. They're not very sticky at all. But this is the only mat I've ever had. I don't buy other mats. I buy this stuff, which is Zig 2-way glue. I have a video on the channel showing you guys how to restick your mats with this gorgeous stuff. I buy the jumbo one. We do carry it at maymaymadeit.com. It's amazing. And I actually restuck this one right before we got started. Okay.
You had a question about super chats. Shirley asked, what is that Pentabulous?
A super chat is kind of like giving us a tip. It's something that YouTube offers you the ability to do. And so you can, like if you want to give us a tip for the show, you can do that, and we appreciate those very much. It also lets your chat hang out at the top of the screen a little bit longer, so it's kind of like pinning your chat for a few minutes. All right, let's do this. This is a stamped image that I want to cut out around it. I'm not trying to cut inside of it. I want to cut around it, okay? So what I need to do, simple, is just come up here to where this picture says scan, and I'll use my stylus so I can be fancy. Click scan. This is a touch screen, by the way. Now your options are direct cut or scan to cut data. We are going to use scan to cut data in a few minutes, but for now I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to do direct cut. What does that mean? It means this. I want to scan this in, and then I want to directly cut this, and I don't want to save it, and I don't want to have it for later. I just want to cut this, okay? So we're going to click direct cut. Now then, the scan and cut 2, and I think the new software update for the other machine lets you do this too, but we can scan in color or black and white. This is a black and white image, so I'm going to click the little toolbox here, and I'm going to choose black and white. Now, if I color with markers before I cut, which I typically do, I'll go ahead and put the tell it to scan in color just to be safe. All right, now what I'm going to do is tell it to start, and it's going to feed the whole mat in. This is why you can't use other mats. Everybody wonders if we can use the ones from our Cricuts or our Silhouettes or whatever. The machine reads these lines on your mat, so you can't use other mats. The other thing is, you can put this in either way. Your mat can be purple in first or green in first. That doesn't matter. All right. It has scanned it. Now it is recognizing it. Now, that can sometimes take a minute depending on the pattern. You'll see that as we go because it does take a little longer in a few minutes. So here it is, and I can see it. I'm actually going to take my glasses off because I can't see very well. I can see it here on my mat, and I want to show you something. And you can see it. Do you see all kind of the gray around the image? That's the mat itself. And if I were to say go right now, it's going to cut out this square, which is already my square piece of paper because that's the cleanest line it sees, okay? I'm good with the scan, so I'm going to say okay. But now I want to narrow in what the machine is looking at. So there's these little arrows that you can drag. I'm going to drag these down just so they come inside that paper. I'm going to let one side process. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't. And then I want to make sure they can see this really well. Get that over there. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this side and drag it up as well. Now, I did not stamp on a very big piece of paper, so I kind of messed myself up here. So you want to leave yourself some room on your paper. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. This is where, if you'll take the time, you'll get this right, okay? I've got it, it's basically like squinting the eye to what we want to do. But there's this little magnifying glass with a plus symbol in it, I'm going to touch that one. I got this sitting on this wood and it's crooked now. When I touch that, it lets me zoom.
Are you still in camera good?
Can you guys see me? I moved it closer. In my screen, I can see.
Okay.
See,
We just asked if we could move the camera up a little bit.
that's why I moved in closer.
Okay.
Now that I can see the image really well because I zoomed in, and by the way, you can zoom in even more. That's 200%. That's 400. Okay, so you can do 200 or 400. And I'm gonna come back over this way so I can get to it. Whoops. Look how much we can zoom in and see our image. A lot. Okay, now on screen you probably can't see that. So I'm good. My lines are where I want them. I'm gonna close this out. Now, I wanna cut this image directly on the outside line. So I'm ready to go. All right, so we're just gonna cut it. In a second, I'm gonna show you how to do it with a little, what we call a bleed around it. There's my little image. I'm gonna tell it to cut. Also, here's important. Don't unload your mat and reload it because right now, the ScanNCut is gonna cut this right where it lives on this mat. That's what we've told it. So you gotta leave it in there, okay? So say cut, 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 and start. Now it's gonna count for us, and I'll put my glasses on so I can see. Again? No, you do not have to be connected to the internet. I have nothing connected to this machine right now. Nothing. It's a free, that's what I love about it. It's a freestanding machine and you can use their software. All right, so I'm gonna grab the outside edge and peel this off. See that? See that? That's cute, ain't it? And then, contraband is my Cricut spatula. They do make ScanNCut spatulas too. And then I can show you this, which to me, let me get in there, to me is worth it. This is so worth it. I have never replaced this blade in a couple years. It cuts great. By the way, this is, the cardstock I'm using today is the Trio pack from Brutus Monroe, and Mama made it. It's the one that he did for me. So the white is 110 pound cardstock. And I set the blade to, let me look so I make sure I tell you the truth, 6. My blade is set to 6. Let me turn that. Working backwards in the camera is rough, y'all. There it is. All right, drop that in. That's one thing I don't love is having to change the blade like this. But then again, I kind of love it because I don't have to go in any software and do it, right? All right, so I'm just going to leave this mat loaded up. I don't need to unload it.
So about how much is this machine? That was a question you're being asked.
When I purchased this machine, it was $249 and I had a $50 rebate. And the reason I'm showing it to you now is because I guarantee you y'all gonna see some deals on it before Christmas. There might even have already been some, I don't know. But some folks were saying Joann's had it for like $199 or something. All right. Now I'm gonna show you how to cut it with a bleed. You can do more than one image at a time. I just did one because it's simple for the screen. If you do more than one image at a time, and I'm gonna show you something in a second, you need to make sure you spread them out. No, there's multiple models of this one. Okay, same thing we just did. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna go home, click the home button. I'm gonna tell it to delete everything. I didn't save anything. We're doing the same thing again. I'm going to do pattern. No, I just told you a lie. I'm gonna do scan, direct cut, leave it in black and white, tell it to start. It's gonna scan it in. Notice, even though my piece is only at the top, it's gonna scan the whole thing. Here's my thing. I love this machine, but only for what I use it for. I do not love it for the software that comes with it. I do not use it for making HTV cutouts. I don't use it for vinyl. You could. I'm going to show you some other stuff in a second. All right, so we've scanned it in exactly the same, and now it's recognizing. One thing I think is so cool. I'm not going to get ahead of the game. No. I'm going to show y'all 3 different things. I'm going to just give you a tip. I'm going to show you 3 different things. I'm going to show you how to do what we're doing now. I'm going to show you how to cut your own handwriting out inside and out and all images inside and out. And I'm going to show you how to cut images from paper just like this. So this is what we're going to do. See how I cut those little images out at the bottom? So I'm showing you how to do all of that today. All right, scanned in. Let's tell it okay. Let's go ahead and move our little arrows in as much as we need to. See how that let me grab it? Sometimes it lets me grab it before it processes and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to zoom in because I need to make sure I've got some room. Let it process. Processing, like I said, sometimes takes a while, sometimes doesn't. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to say, okay, now here's what I wanted to show you. We did the direct cut right around the edges a while ago, okay? I want to leave a bleed around it, or an offset, all right? So this middle button right here, this is your offset button, okay? You can tell because it has a circle inside a circle to show you the offset. So I'm going to tap on that. Now I can choose all these different sizes of the offset. I typically like just to say up one time. That's 0.04. But for this demo, I'm going to do it twice so you can really see it. That's 0.08, okay? And so now I'm going to say okay, which is here. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to tell it I want to cut it. And I'm going to start. Now I'm going to get it cut with a bleed around it, which is cool because sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't.
And Georgia asked, why did you have to push the cut button 3 times?
It asks you if you want to draw it. It asks you some questions because it can draw, because it does have a, there is a pin adapter. I think it's do you want to draw it, something else, and then cut it. I can't remember exactly, but when we go back, we'll look at the questions. All right, take this guy. This is the excess off. Okay. Go back to my contraband. And I'll show you guys just how awesome. See the bleed? Get in the camera good. There we go. Now you can see that edge around it. Isn't that awesome? I mean, I love this thing. I think it's worth every penny for what I use it for, and I think it's still worth that. See it? Do you see the difference, Vince?
Well, yeah.
You see one has a white edge around the image.
Right.
And one is cut right on the image.
Right.
I love it. And I used one of my more difficult, my images aren't difficult, but that was one of my more difficult ones. Okay, now for the fun part. Here we go, the fun part. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Okay, I'm going to place this piece of paper that I wrote my name on here. Okay, let me tell this. Okay, we're starting completely to a new thing. Okay, I want to cut inside and outside. I want to do this. See how I cut my name? Okay. I wrote this with a Sharpie marker on a piece of paper. Here's what's so cool about this. Here's why I think this is a cool thing. For Christmas presents, have you seen how everybody's been doing these things where you get your loved one to write a note to you and then they put it on jewelry or whatever? How cool is it to have a loved one write a note and then you can cut it out in vinyl and then you can put it on a wood plaque with their handwriting? You see what I'm saying? You can do this in Cricut, by the way. If you have a Cricut, you can still make this happen, this thing I'm telling you. You can't scan and cut this. I got to clarify that. But you could still put somebody's handwriting in by scanning it into your computer, okay? All right. So I'm going to show you how to cut inside and out. Now, here's the trick. You have to, for what I'm doing, I wanted to have a continuous line. So I made sure everything touches, okay? So I get one continuous piece. That really doesn't matter, because you can always like use transfer tape and move it from one place to another. So, all right, here's how this one works. This time we're gonna scan it, just like we did before, but instead of direct cut, even though we're gonna direct cut it right here, instead of direct cut, I need to do it scan to cut data, or data, whichever way you say it. So I'm gonna click that one. Same thing, color or black and white. It's black and white, so I'm gonna say start and let it scan. Now what I was saying about you can do this on the Cricut is this. You can write on a piece of paper. You can go to your computer, scan it in. You can take a photo with your phone or whatever, and you can put that photo or your computer scan into the software Design Space and do the same thing. This is just how I would do it with my scan and cut, okay? Oh, she did it right. The other day I responded to a comment, tomato or tomato, but it was tomato or tomato, depending on how you said it, right?
Yep.
Processing. What is that called? Recognizing.
Now, several people have posted deals that they have found online. The cheapest one that I have seen, Claudia O'Neill says that Costco has the machine for $159.
Ooh, the two?
Well, I don't know.
That's got to be a big deal. I've never heard it that cheap. If they got it that cheap, run, don't walk. Okay, seriously.
Okay, let's see. There was another question I wanted to
Oh,
ask.
Costco machine is a scan and cut one, someone says.
Okay.
Yeah, the CM250. Pay attention to that. I get the CM350. The CM250, you can update the software and all that good stuff, but for me, I always like to try to get the newest technology.
Okay. Oh, I just lost it. I had it and I lost it. Oh, Pentabulous says, does the Cricut Maker cut like this?
Yes. It
It
doesn't
would-
scan.
Okay.
That's the difference. The only thing this machine does, there's two things, there's probably more, but I'm going to say this. There's two things this machine does that Cricut doesn't do. This will scan in, okay? And the other thing is I have some onboard images built in that I don't have to have my computer for. Other than that, I haven't found anything this does that the other won't. I think that's fair.
All right.
It's so important that you understand these two machines are two completely different machines. I don't know how to explain that, but they just are.
Well, lot of, they're coming fast. All right, so Funtastic Craft says other sites have the older model. How is the older model?
I've seen people say that you can update the older model software to the most current, and that's fine. But here's the thing, if you're anytime, I don't care if you're buying a cell phone. Well, I'm a bad person to talk about cell phones. Because I always like the newest technology. I think if you can afford the newest technology, get the newest technology, because every time they build something, they're gonna make it better than the last. So don't back yourself up if you can afford to not be backed up. Make sense? Let's do this. Okay, so I've got the same, we've scanned it just like we did everything else. Now what we've got, when you get to the screen, you'll see this. We have different options, okay? Now we have this option at the top, which is the outer area. Okay, that's the first box, just like we did with the truck. That's the outline. This one is the inside and out, which is really cool because that's what we want. We want to cut inside the line and outside the line. And this one is in separate pieces, which we're not doing. We're doing one piece. So I'm going to pick this middle option. Now, same thing. Let's shrink it down to our image. We don't want all that stuff in the background. It just muddies up the image. Shrink it on down. And then you can look at it if you want to. I'm not going to look at it. We may be a little messy, but I'm not going to look at it. So there's that. And we're going to say, this time we're going to say save. Why? Because we're going to save this in so that it sees it as an image for the inside and out instead of just cutting it straight like we did a while ago. I'm going to save it to my machine, which is the other cool thing we can do with the scan and cut is save this directly to the machine. There's no computer hooked to this machine. I have to tell y'all that. The only thing I wish, and they might have fixed this, I have not updated my machine, so Brother Scan and Cut may have fixed this. I wish I could name my files. Mike can now, I don't know. I'm going to click OK. Now I want to cut it. So, to cut it, I'm going to go home. First, let me say this. I am not unloading this mat, okay? This is where I need it to be to cut it. If I unload it, I'm never going to line it back up again, so I'm not unloading it. Now I'm going to say home, and I'm going to say delete all this stuff. We're fine because we saved it, okay? So now to cut it, I'm going to go to patterns because it's saved in my computer. Up here where it says saved data, I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to choose from the machine. Now let me say this to you. You can save your images in different places. See how this cord is here? I can save it to a USB. This one says I can save it to my computer, but I just saved it to my machine. Also, if I were to hook in a cord, I could choose that I wanted it from my USB that was hooked in. I have a video where I show you that, okay? Well, somebody said they update the machine instead of making you buy a new machine. That's kind of an unfair statement in this. Cricut could not, like the Maker, for example, they couldn't have updated the machine and given you the new stuff that it does just by updating the machine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because what you're updating is not the machine.
Yes,
it's
the software. They only update the software. The machine, anytime the machine gets something different, I want to make sure I'm not saying it incorrectly, because that's not fair to say, because if they gave me any updated cutting features, they'd have to give me a new machine. They can update the software just like Cricut does all the time.
Right.
Brother updates software all the time just like everybody else. I just am really slow on doing my updates. Let me be fair. Make sure I stay fair.
Is really slow justify what happens?
Do you want to see how many things I have not updated on my phone?
Can you just say, I never update my junk?
I never update, which is why, you know what? They may do this too, I don't know, but which is one thing I love about Design Space now. I don't have to do it manually. I mean, I don't have to do it myself. It does it on its own. Okay, let's go back to this. So this is my image. It's the last one. If you need to, you can write, what does it say? There's an update and an upgrade. That's right, Tommy. Okay, let me say that. Software is updated, machines are upgraded. That's very good. Thank you, because I want to make sure I say it right. I don't want to mess up. All right, so I'm going to choose that image I just saved, which is this guy at the bottom. If you're not sure, oh man, that ain't right. What did I do? That's what I get for keeping my glasses on. Hold on. This couldn't go smooth the whole time, could it? All right, I want to redo this because I didn't pay attention. I should have zoomed and looked. It didn't get it all. That's okay. We make mistakes. I'm going to trash this one altogether. Delete it. Yes. That's important for me because I don't want to like mud up my machine. I don't know how much it'll hold, but I'm going to delete it if I know it's bad. So let's go back home. I'm starting over. Scan to cut data. Go ahead. I'm going to zoom this time and pay attention.
While that's doing that, Michelle asked, which one, in your opinion, is better, the CM350 or the CM650?
If you are a quilter or a sewer or an embroiderer, you need the 650 because it's my understanding that the 650 can work with EPS files. I don't ever plan on using an EPS file, so I didn't get the 650. But if you need it for, that's what I understand to be the big difference. So, recognizing.
Can you convert your SVG files to scan and cut format?
Yeah, that would not be hard to do. You'll just print your SVGs out and scan them in as PDFs, or just scan them in as images. That's what I would do. Now, will that work? I've not tried it, but I would think it would. Or can't you? Josh is here. Can't you convert an SVG to a PDF on a free converter somewhere? Surely there's one out there, right? I would look for online for like a free file converter and just convert it from SVG to PDF. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, it's done. All right, let me get in here. We're going to pick this one. I'm going to zoom it in a little bit, just like we did before, and I'm going to have to zoom in and look this time.
You're getting some repeat questions, but I'm going to throw it out there. Do you prefer this file over the Cricut? I mean, this machine over the Cricut? They don't do the same things, so it's really not.
They're totally different. So they're, for me, they're not.
Apples and oranges,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can see that. Where was it? Was it here? Yeah. Okay. Let me go back.
They're saying there's a thing called Scan and Cut Canvas that allows you to use SVG files.
Yeah, but it's really, listen, I would never. That's what I was saying. I don't enjoy the Scan and Cut Canvas software. I use Cricut.
Is it too complicated?
It's
Is
just
that what you think?
clunky.
Okay.
In a nutshell, let me say this. With my Cricut machine, with Design Space, I can open an SVG file that has 4 or 5 or 6 different colored layers, and it will automatically throw it all on all the right mats and separate it all out for me. But with this one, I have to do that all manually unless they've changed it. It is too complicated for me. And most people use a third-party software with this machine if you're going to use it that way. Okay, I got to show you this. Do you see down here where it has like this gradient line box at the bottom? We're going to click that, and now I can zoom in. I'm going to click the zoom just like we did a while ago and see where my cut lines are. Okay, this looks right. I wonder why a while ago it didn't. I should have looked at it.
Ms. Jones says they have not changed it.
Oh, they haven't? No, it's not right. It's not picking it up. Okay, when I get in there super close, I can see that it didn't get it. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go back and cancel. What does it say? Okay to delete? Yes. Okay, I'm going to do this again. But this time, I'm going to try to do it in color and just see what happens. Because I'm going to tell it more colors. I did this a while ago and it worked fine without doing this, but sometimes you just have to, oh, I went back. Doggone it. Here. Sometimes you just have to play with it. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. All that really means is you can scale it without having pixelated edges. Other images have a pixelated edge, so you can take an SVG and make it 12 feet long without getting pixelated edges.
Pam from Australia asked, can anyone tell her about Eclipse machines?
Not me, never had one. I've heard about them. There's plenty of videos online.
Do you know anybody off the top of your head that does a good tutorial
Eclipse?
with them?
I would just have to search by Eclipse. Okay. Do this number. Is that what I was doing wrong? Did I not click that last time? I think I missed that button. I did do it?
Well, I mean, I wasn't paying attention to what you clicked because I can't see it from where I'm sitting. So I don't know.
All right, I'm just, see now it worked. Isn't that funny? Look, guys. I don't know why, but now it's all done. So sometimes when I have an issue with it seeing in black and white, I'll put it on color and I think it sees more. I don't know why, but now it works so I can see all of it. All right, so X out of here, okay, tell it save. Again to my machine, and then okay, and then I'm done. So I'm gonna go home, okay. Now I'm gonna go to pattern because that's where I've saved it. Saved to, in my saved data. Go to my machine, scroll to the last page. It always saves it at the end, and it's this one. Okay, now we're there. Now remember, we didn't unload. We did not move this because it'll mess it all up. You got to leave it alone. Now I'm gonna tell this okay, and I'm going to tell it okay again. Right here, remember it said press the cut key or the draw key. I'm going to tell it to cut. Now it says press the start stop button right here. Sorry that took me a minute, but sometimes the black and white doesn't read, and so I'll just go do it on color and then I'd have better luck. By the way, Miss Teresa said you can use Scout. You can use Scout with this machine. You can also use Make the Cut, and yeah, you can use Make the Cut, Scout. Scout is sure cuts a lot. And then there's eScout. I think she said eScout, but eScout I think is like the commercial grade one. Isn't that right, Teresa? Isn't that one the commercial grade one? Because we call sure cuts a lot Scout, but I think there's also a commercial grade cut software that is. I think so. I don't know. I try to know, but I don't know everything. All right, let's clean this out. I'm using my contraband spatula. You just got here. See my contraband? There's a Cricut spatula. Uh-oh. What has she done? What has she done? Did they make one for dummies? I actually think this one is not hard at all, y'all. Now, I wouldn't use, like I said, I don't like the software. Miss Jones said they haven't updated it. That makes me feel better to know I'm not telling people that. And there's probably this fantabulous upgrade. This is a pretty, this is Sharpie marker that I wrote on a piece of paper with.
Shirley says the drawback she sees is this machine is very loud.
Yeah, it is loud. Yeah. Yep. Check it out. Let me get in the camera. I'm the worst at this part. See it? Hey, stick your hand behind there so they can see the, I can't read. There we go. Raise it up. Right there. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that cool? So imagine if you have this machine, you can do this. Thank you, Josh. Vanna hands. You can do this, and like you could put, like if I had my husband do it, I'd want him to write what he calls me, which is my heart. So like if you put like I love you, my heart, signed it, and then signed it Vince, and then I could cut it out in his handwriting and put it on something to save. Isn't that cool? Again, you can do that with the Cricut, but I'm showing you the machine, this machine today. Whew, we're not done. One more thing. One more thing. All right. I love these papers, right? But sometimes I might just want one little image out of it and not the whole thing. So I'm going to show you how we can use this ScanNCut and get one little image. So I'm not even unloading this, dude. I just don't have a reason to. I'm going to stick this paper down. May not be stuck real great, but I'll show you another thing I do, which is totally not, it's not ScanNCut approved, but I'll show you in a second. All right, we're going to go back home. We're starting fresh. All right, what do you think I'm going to do? Let me see if y'all been listening. What are we going to do right here? Are we going to do pattern or are we going to do scan? I'll say this, 9 times out of 10, I start with this button that we need to do right now. I'm just looking. Oh, it comes tomorrow. That's cool. I'm going to scan, Mary. Good job. Give Mary an A+ today.
Whoop, whoop. A+.
Now, am I going to direct cut or am I going to scan to cut data? Uh-oh. Let's see. I like doing interactive with you guys and making you tell me. Let's see who gets a point. Direct cut or scan to cut data or scan to USB. Obviously, I'm not doing. Look, direct cut. Give all those people A+ today. They're flying in.
Some folks are saying scan to cut.
Oh, no. We're going to direct cut because I'm going to directly cut on this paper. I'm not going to save it into the machine. Now, am I going to do color or black and white? Come on. This is an easy one. Josh, am I doing color or black and white? Don't say it out loud because somebody has to get a point. April got color. We're going to do color. All right, let's tell it to scan. The whole sheet. Feeding it in there. You guys are good. Look, color, color, color.
Somebody's been paying attention.
Who's not from around these parts? Color with a U. I will color with you and with a U. Too cute. Okay. Now look what has happened. The whole sheet is now on our mat. Do you see that? But I don't need all of that. I just want to cut out one image from here. Ooh, take these glasses off so we can see. Let's do, I'm going to do one in the middle of the page so y'all can see it. So I'm going to do this little gingerbread dude. So I'm going to shrink this in pretty close to him. And it does have kind of a stopping point. You can only go so small, and that's fine. So I frame the image and say, okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. In my opinion, this doesn't work well with, well, this is not a good idea, but this is not a good example. But if you have some that has a lot of images that are overlapping, it doesn't work as well. You need some graphic images that it can see, okay? So not all papers work, full disclosure.
Shirley asked, can she use stick-it adhesive with whatever she cuts?
Yes. Yes, you may have to change your cut blade depth, but yes. Okay, so here's what's happened. In this little image, let's zoom in and look at it. That's too small. Let's do it again. I'm just zooming deeper so y'all can see it better. What it's picked up is the spoon above him, the gingerbread man, the little gummy bear, and a little bit of stuff over here on the side that I'm not real worried about. It's not really going to hurt anything. Did I say gummy bear? That is a gingerbread man.
You know, today has been one of them days, hasn't it?
Since I rolled out the side of the bed, it has been that way today. I'm telling you, that is too funny. Okay. So did they make gingerbread gummy bears? Get on it, somebody, because I would want them. They're my favorite. Okay. So it's going to want to cut out multiple things. I'm okay with that. Let me tell you this. If you ever struggle with getting it to see the images, you can adjust the amount of colors that it's looking at. Mine's looking at 5 different colors, but you can adjust it, okay, any way you want to. I wish. You can adjust it any way you want to, okay?
You'll be ashamed.
So, I'm going to move my glasses so it don't get knocked off. And we're going to cut this. So, I'm going to say, okay. I'm not going to add an offset, but you can. You get that option. I'm going to say, okay again. Here, I'm going to tell it to cut and press the cut button, or this one to start. Woo! You can talk to me about anything? No, you can't. Politics and probably religion. And hunting. Right, Vince? You hate when that topic comes up.
Yeah.
What else do you not like to talk to me about? Crafting? Is it this little dude? Yeah. So now we get this little guy. Looky, looky. Here comes Gingerbread Cookie. Look at him. Get that in the screen, Josh. What is my problem? Wait. My arm doesn't bend that way. You do it. You're better at that. Josh is better with Vanna hands. Look at that amazingness. I couldn't do that. He's got a little bit of edge right there I can see in the camera, but not bad. Okay, let me show him the other cool thing. Get ready to show him this one. This is my favorite. Ready? I'll put it right there. Look at this gumdrop that it cut out. Look at the teeny tiny gumdrop. That is so cute. Let's look at the spoon. You might could put the spoon and the gumdrop on the spoon. Here you go. There's that. Put it beside it. Let them see how tiny. It's so tiny, y'all.
Can you imagine the cramps your hand would have trying to cut that little bitty stuff out?
I wouldn't want Josh needs some lotion. Let me tell you something about my family. Not me, but my whole family are alligators, aren't y'all? All of y'all. Nice hands, Josh. All right, are you making out your Santa list? I know y'all are.
How often do you have to change the blade?
I've never changed my blade. I get that question a lot. I've never changed it. Let me show y'all that. Now we'll go to Q&A. So if y'all want to ask any questions, let me unload this so I don't tear it apart. But if you want to ask any questions now's the time, and I can show you anything. Like, now listen, I'm no professional with this machine, but I'll tell you who is. The Brother Scan and Cut spokesperson, her name is Julie Faye Fan Balzer, and she has a YouTube channel by that name, and she does all their QVC. Actually, are they HSN?
HSN.
They're HSN. She does all their HSN demos and everything, and she has full videos on all this kind of stuff, okay? So, here is the blade. All right. There's the blade housing. And do I remember? Oh, I hate when I do that. Do I remember how to change it? I've never changed it, so I don't know. If y'all need to know, I guess I can figure it out. But I've never changed it ever. I will tell you this. I had a friend who broke the housing because they didn't know how to do it. You just lift this little flap up and then drop that down in there. And you can change this. Like if you're... Now, here's something I don't love. I wish that they gave us a better idea of how deep to make the blade for different products. And they may do better than they used to. Used to, you got a little paper when you first got the machine and it would tell you. But I pretty much leave my blade on 6 for cardstock all the time.
Can vinyl be cut?
Yeah, it'll
on
cut.
this machine?
It'll cut vinyl. Okay, so 6 is cardstock, but I can roll this up to 12, and you won't be able to see that blade come out of there.
You do not have a coupon code for this machine, right?
No, I sure don't. They've never spoken to me. That's all right. I love the machine. So there you go.
Oh, that's interesting. You got this question. Do you cut the window out of the truck like you did with your name?
You can, but you got to do it the second way I showed you. You got to do it the second way to do that, not the first way. Which is fine. It just might be harder to stamp after you cut it.
What a girl in a sweater crafts says, what about digital images that I've gotten online? How would I transfer it to Scan and Cut?
If they're PDF images, you just print them and scan them and cut them. If they're SVG images, you need the software. You can use their software, or you can use a third-party software. Now, having said that, hold on. You can also upload, let me see. You can also upload them to your saved data, but you can put them onto a USB and then move them in here with your USB. Here's the thing that I really, really love about this machine. These are built-in images. Y'all, there's no computer hooked to this machine. I don't know how to say that. The only cord on this machine is the power cord, okay? So there's no computer hooked to this machine. Ooh, that's a terrible glare. I was in a better spot. There we go. So these right here, I'm gonna try to do this backwards. Like these are images, let's just see what I clicked, already built in. So you can use these images like, what is this one? Look at all this. That's a snowflake, that's a bell, that's a candle, that's a holly berry, that's a wreath. See that? These images are built in. That's something I really love about this because you don't have to plug a computer in it to get these, which, what I love, and I wish they had more, and they may soon, is you can have fonts. There are built-in fonts in here. See this? So let's say you want this pretty, I love this font. You can like type in what you want and then say, oh, I'm upside down, y'all. Okay, and I got the letter up here. I'll hit the letter right there, and I can change the size right in the machine. That's what I love about it.
Okay, so Lori asked, how long can I expect the mat to last before having to replace it?
About 2 uses. I'm not kidding about that. Don't replace your mat though. That's your problem, okay? Not your problem. That's the problem. You have no problem. We all have problems, but I'm saying today you have no problems. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't replace mats. I use this. I use my Zig 2-way, okay? And I will rinse this mat off with a little mildly warm water. Not super hot, because super hot will kind of release all of the tacky that's on here already. And clean this off and then take your Zig, okay? And I want you just to run it across. And I use this inch wide because I do it like this. And I do it in 6-inch sections. I'll do this first 6 inches. And then I'll go from here to to the next section and do 6 inches. Okay, and then let this dry. The cool thing about this glue, I only like this glue for its re-sticking properties. I don't like it for its regular glue property, obviously, because I'm an art glitter glue girl, but this one just, it never dries. It's kind of like Tombow, how it's 2-way and it never dries. So I like it for this application, but I don't use it for anything else. And this bottle will last forever, but I'm not kidding about these mats are the least sticky mats I've ever seen. Ever. And I never buy new mats, not for my Cricut, for none of them. I just re-stick them. Always.
Okay. Is there a way, Sally asked, is there a way to cut out a shape around a stamped sentiment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can, let me think for a second. How is it on this machine? You put the shape on your mat. You scan. In the software you can do that. But what I would do, I don't know why I would do that. Hold on, I'm trying to think for a second. Around a stamped sentiment. I would cut the shape and then just stamp on that. Am I saying that wrong? I would cut the shape, then stamp the shape.
So you would cut the shape and then put your image on
If that's what they're asking me, how to cut around a stamped image, I would not go through the trouble of putting it into the machine. I would just cut the shape and then stamp on it afterwards. I want to make sure I'm understanding the question right. I could totally be missing it. Scan the stamp, then put the shape. I don't really know why we would scan it. If we're just stamping on a shape, I would just cut out the shape and stamp on it.
All right.
She said around a sentiment. But again, are you asking me, can you cut out a sentiment? Yes, I showed how to do that. It's the same as how I do with the hand. But if you're saying a shape around it, I would cut the shape first.
Can you download?
Yes, you can do yes, Chris. Okay. Stamp it just like you do the truck. When you may not have seen from the beginning, so this may be why you're not sure. Okay. This image has a bleed. See how it has an offset? You do the same thing, and you can just set an offset around it. Yep, that's right. Yes, I hope that was right. I'm sorry if I messed you up. You had another question? I'm sorry.
You can download images to it?
You don't download to this machine, okay? Download, I mean. You do, kind of. Okay, how do I want to word it? I don't know how they word things because I don't watch a lot of videos. Let me say it like this. Because you have on the side this table does not like to let me move. Okay, because you have on the side this USB and this printer cable. What's the printer cable called? It's the printer cable. See how it looks? Yes. Whatever you have that hooks in with that printer cable. But because you have this USB, you can upload. It's upload. I'm looking at Josh. I'm saying right. You can upload images into the machine. Like, if you guys, there's a video on my channel where I did a mini album from Genevieve, one of hers that she does in PDF. Watch that video because I show you how to put that straight into the machine and then pull it up in here. Yeah, flash drive, thumb drive, USB. Yeah. There's so many things, y'all. It's so much. So much. But again, the only reason I don't use this machine for vinyl and stuff, not because it can't cut it necessarily, but because my other machine, the software is so much more intuitive. This is the scan and cut too. I mean, I think the word download's what's throwing me. You can upload images into this machine. I want to make sure. I think that's the part that's throwing me. Yes, you can put images in here.
I think that's what she's saying.
I think the download word is what's confusing me. I am wearing some polka dots, girl. Look at them. I keep trying to be modest, but I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I keep leaning in. Michaels has it for $2.29. Sheila says. Sheila, one of these days, just for you, I'm gonna sing Melody's theme song during a live show. She'll know why. Just let it go. Can you save images? What was that one?
Can you save images for later date?
You can. You can. Somebody said, what do you do when it doesn't see? Sheila, oh no. somebody said, what do you do when it doesn't see all the images? That's when I go back and I like mess with the colors. If I'm scanning it in black and white, then I'll go scan it in color and see if it's not better. No, this would not replace my Cricut. By 100,000% it would not. My favorite for vinyl, right now it's my Maker. I love that Maker, y'all. I know I haven't done any videos with it, but I've done one. I love that Maker. Love it.
You know how much memory it has?
You know, that's what I don't know, and the good thing is you can delete images, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure those images do cut separately. Let me go back. It was here, and it was here, and it was here. Let's say okay. Yeah, they cut in an A and a B. That was a good question. So it's not just one flat image. You can cut them separate. What was that?
Are you doing the Crafter After show today?
Yeah, we're going to sign off real quick and do Crafter After. Sure. Oh, that's right, Connie. Sometimes you can trace your image with a pencil to give it a better edge. That's a very good point. Yes, I have the Maker. The Cricut Maker, the newest Cricut machine. But honestly, any of the Explorer machines are great, except for I wouldn't get the Explorer 1. I don't even think you can get it anymore.
Your son's mad. Look what he made on it. It's like 1 point.
Josh, are you mad? You can't be mad.
He's mad. Look at him. He's mad.
My son Josh is in here and just showed us. Is it your exam grade from last night?
It's one I did this morning.
It's an exam from this morning. He made a 99 on it, and he's mad. I would be mad about a 99. I got to be honest. I'd be mad about that.
It's 1 stinking point.
I'd be mad about a 99. I'd be like, come on. Okay, I'm going to sign out. Wait, what did I say about the Maker?
No, you cannot have a peek at a stamp set.
They're flying. The comments are flying.
Claudia's trying to sneak a peek.
I think Julie Faithan Balzer has a video doing felt with this machine. I want to answer that Maker question. I feel like I haven't given the Maker enough love, but I felt like everybody was giving it so much love, and I don't want to butt in.
Earlier somebody asked, why does this machine cut the eyes out of her stamped images?
Now, unless you're doing it all the way through, like I said, all the way with the scan, if you're scanning to cut data, it can do that. But if you're just scanning to the direct cut, it shouldn't do that because it shouldn't see anything but the outside line. I don't know. That's interesting.
She wanted to know how to fix it, but I don't.
So Renee asked me why I purchased the Cricut Maker. I didn't purchase it. Cricut sent it to me to review. Would I have purchased it? Yes. I would have spent my money on that machine in a heartbeat. Honestly. Like, y'all know I don't lie to y'all, right? I just don't. And Josh, would I have bought the Maker?
Yeah.
Vince, what I've said, guess what's coming out?
Second.
I would buy it because of all it can do. Here's the deal about the Cricut Maker. Here's how I like to explain it. The Cricut Maker is that machine that does everything that all the Cricut machines did, plus more. It didn't take anything away. It's like it's only adding features for you. So you can still do your vinyl, you can still do your paper, you can still do everything. And the other cool thing is I didn't have to get a new software. It works with the same software. So the one I've already been learning all this time, I know how to do. So I just love it. And for me, the fact that it cuts burlap, my favorite material to cut, which I struggle with because now I think I'm allergic to it, so I can't use it very much. But that Maker, that rotary blade is genius. Genius. And I'm going to say this because people are really not happy about this. That whole knife blade that's coming, they're going to get it to us. Give them time. But here's what I'm going to say. I don't care anything about that knife blade. I wanted that rotary blade. And the fact that they got it right, wow. Y'all have seen it. Y'all have seen it.
All right, let's get to the Crafter After show.
There is a wireless card for this machine if you want to use it. I never bought it and I never used it. I saved $50 because I didn't need it. And I'll tell you something else. I'm not one of those people who buy a lot of stuff off HSN because I don't do bundles. I never see a use for the other stuff. Like I'm not into, like I'm very picky about my vinyls and things like that, so I don't worry about the bundle deals. So I just save myself that money. Does that make sense? Now, if you need to buy it on Easy Pay, there was a time when I was an Easy Pay girl and I would get the bundles just because I needed the Easy Pay. So I do totally get that. So do that. But for me now, I would just buy this machine. Any accessories you want for here, and I wouldn't worry about that Wi-Fi. I wouldn't, using it the way I do. All right, we're going to sign off and come back for the Crafter After Show. I think we gave you everything. No, I love Easy Pay too, girl. So if you're wanting for Easy Pay, do it. Woo! I have a headache from yelling because my phone is way far away today. I'm trying to be loud for you guys. All right, we're going to sign out. That means Josh's going to do it. Yeah, Lynn, it's not, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, we'll see you guys in just a second in the Crafter After Show. Bye!